So for the people who do not know you, introduce yourselves to them.
Um, I'm Decay, owner of Beyond Nen, developer, builder, sound effects maker. I'm also the game designer for Beyond Nen. But yeah, I'm the owner, I guess you could say.
Okay, so real quick, we're just gonna take it back. Everything on RoTalks is freestyle. There's no scripts, and things of that nature. So, you are, as you said, the owner of Beyond Nen. Can you give us a quick rundown on how long Beyond Nen has been in development for?
Like 2 years, yeah, 2 years.
2 years?
But in putting that in hindsight, Beyond Nen has been revamped a lot of times,
Mm-hmm.
as you know of, as you
Yeah,
can
I've seen.
because of certain situations with developers, funds, and just wanting to have higher quality. Yeah.
Understandable. Obviously, if you guys haven't seen the old Beyond Nen, I'll post clips as we're talking. However, there has been a drastic improvement. That much I didn't give you credit for. There's, especially from the sneak I saw, what was it, last year? Or was it 2 years ago? Last year compared to this year, there's been a lot of changes. And yes, they are better. But from my understanding, I did recently do a reaction to your Beyond Nen showcase, the Godspeed showcase. And how did you feel about my reaction to that video?
Mm. I think it was all right, I guess. But there's just certain things and certain things not shown, certain things that you don't know of, and I understand, I guess, your point of view. Of course, we continue to strive to make a better game, to make an improved game, to make the best Hunter and X Hunter game we can provide on this platform, and we will continue to show you guys that. So there's nothing much I can say in my words unless I do show it. Actions is what matters.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm gonna, kind of not nitpick. I'm gonna tear apart things from the showcase that I noticed that a lot of people were saying, and just getting your opinion of what you feel like my opinions are. So a lot of people are saying that the game is, well, I said the game is project like, and there were comments saying, oh, kind of the game reminds them of Grand Peace Online in a way. How do you feel about those comments? And not only how you feel, but how do you feel like your game differs from those? Because aesthetically it doesn't look exactly the same, but there are similarities, which is why people are saying those things. But yeah, how do you feel about that?
I think I totally understand their point of view. I can definitely see some similarities with my game, and especially just the aesthetic and feel, and maybe even just the vibe. Like it kind of just gives off Grand Peace Online vibes. And I just think because our game has high quality things, many people in our dev team, we've seen these type of reactions. We've seen a lot of people calling us GPO and stuff, which it's not necessarily too frustrating, but it makes us feel like we're under a shadow of a game, if you get what I mean.
Mhm.
Like, and we're not trying to go the GPO route at all. But a lot of us can say, oh, at least we're glad in such form of the game that's not even close to what we will have in release is being compared to GPO. It means we're getting somewhere with this game so far.
Okay. That's fair. I like the fact that you're kind of understanding of where other people are coming from, and then translate that into, making your game strive to be different. Also, we did have, a little bit of a back and forth. You know what I'm saying? I may have been a little bit toxic in it, but how do you feel about what I said? Well, instead, let's go back a little bit. So the only reason why I got just a tad bit frustrated within our little back and forth, right? And I wasn't even mad. I was just a tad bit frustrated. Was really because you did okay. So you were consistently, coming on the streams, the Mean Sages streams, advertising the game, and as you should, right? There's nothing wrong with that, right? At least I like it when devs, especially like developers, are, sometimes like when they're transparent with the community they're trying to grow, and things of that nature. But sometimes, right, what you gotta understand is, from at least my point of view, I can't speak for anyone else, sometimes you did a little bit too much. Like, you were too...
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that, especially with me trolling. I think that was due to my my past experiences. It kind of was unprofessional of me.
And things of that nature, yeah.
In my dev teams would have a big meeting discussion about that, and we do plan, and we have planned to take the right strategic actions to prevent that from happening. From not just from me, from all my developers and anybody connected to Beyond Net. There will be no trolling, at least for now, till the game's out. But yeah, there will be no such thing. But I just want to make sure people understand and have as much information they can, so they're not misled, because it will be a very big factor to why they would decide to play the game.
All right, that's fair. I'm not gonna lie. As long as you understand, because it's just like, I wanted to see. It's not that I don't want to see you win. I just want to see that level of professionalism type beat. Also, let's delve back into the game. Within the showcase, right, you did say you didn't want to show off a lot of mechanics, etc., right? But I feel like what the showcase was missing was, like, I feel like things that kind of described what we were seeing. Because within the Godspeed, there was two different modes within it.
Oh no, this was coming with the cutscene issue, which we already planned to tackle. So the first time you see me transform, that's just the transformation without the cutscene. To like transform into the cutscene, you just have to hold the transformation button for a few seconds.
Okay, so you hold it down and it activates. Yeah. Okay.
The cutscene. Without the cutscene, it does like a 1-2 second anim, and you automatically transform. So that's why we did that. Both. So in the show, the Speed of Lightning and Whirlwind, the mode gives you access to both. Whirlwind is just a move. Whirlwind itself is a move. So basically, Whirlwind is just reacting to a certain, to if someone were to attack you. So the move that you see me like you see me like punch them, and it was a customization. A cutscene. Punch them in the ears, throw them up, and slam them down. Yeah, that's actually Whirlwind. But the thing is that we didn't make it a counter, because it's gonna be a counter when it's actually in game.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. That's fair. That makes more sense, because my whole thing was 2 transformations, which kind of just like threw me off, and then just a bunch of different cutscenes within one kit, because I think there was 3 different cutscenes within that one kit.
Well, I guess 3, but one doesn't really have a cutscene, because like the barrage punches. So if you hold it, so you have to hold it. So if you hold it long enough, so it can either be the mechanic for that, it can either be a combo extender or it can be a knockback. So if you hold it long enough for the cutscene, it's gonna knock him back. But if you don't, like you let go, it's gonna be an extender. Yeah, it's gonna be a combo extender.
I guess when you explain it like that, it's not too bad. The only thing with cutscenes is when there's too many of them, it can, in my opinion, a lot of people, I think there's about 50-50 split in it. Sometimes it can slow down the pace of the game or the pace of combat. And that can, within 1v1s, that's not really an issue. But when there's more than one person or more than two people, it can be kind of annoying. Because I did notice, especially in Anime Showdown didn't have too many cutscenes, but where it did, the game just became repetitive. Because it's this, after the first week, cutscenes get annoying to deal with. At first it's like, oh, this is really cool, but after you're playing a game consistently, hours on end, you get tired of your gameplay being cut by the cutscene because it takes away that, you know, that portion, that moment of freedom.
And me and my developers, we talked about this, and we plan to probably make a setting where you can disable cutscenes.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But wouldn't that kind of interfere with the kit of how the kit is?
No, the cutscenes is just to enhance like the view and of what the player and the opponent is seeing when they're being like in that type of intact and fighting.
Okay.
The things still play. The cutscene does not affect like the actual movement animations. So you just basically be seeing it. You might be, let's say, for example, the ult, instead of it being in the cutscene where you're moving with the player moving like each frame, it would just like be probably like you zoomed out looking in the normal Roblox camera and you just see yourself doing all that. And then yeah.
Okay, that's not too bad. Are cutscenes able to be interrupted?
So it depends, but I'm probably not gonna do that. But I'm thinking of maybe like some modes, some transformations will be able to be interrupted, because I really like the idea of some Eren Yeager stuff. So yeah, so basically, for example, even in the game, if you were to M2, because I don't think a lot of people notice this, because I didn't really, because the combat showcase for the game is coming out after this Godspeed just came out. Combat and in-depth the thing is that what we showed in combat wasn't actually what combat's gonna entail.
Okay, yeah, of course.
Combat has a lot more mechanics than that. So that's what. So people were. I don't like how people thought that was just what was gonna be in combat.
Yeah.
So we're gonna make a showcase for combat, and I might even have a voiceover to explain the mechanics and all that stuff.
Yeah, that would work better, because what I feel like a lot of people took from the Godspeed showcase is, yeah, Godspeed itself does look good and the animations were good looking, but the base combat was just M1 usabilities, and that's what most people took from that showcase.
Yeah, because combat, for example, we didn't even show the wall extenders, we didn't show the evasives, we didn't show some things if you jump up and you like right click, you can smash down. There's also going to be grabs. I'm also adding a drive system, which I took from Street Fighter 6. Yeah, there's more stuff to combat that we plan to add.
Okay.
And, so a combat showcase will come out pretty soon, not too far from now.
All right, that's fair. One other thing related to cutscenes. So I don't know if there's like a startup animation into the cutscene moves, but let's say if there is, right? If you're blocking, I'm assuming some moves would be block breakers, but if you're blocking, does that stop the move from actually?
Yeah, when you're blocking, so basically, I don't know if maybe I can show you frame by frame later, but before the cutscenes start, there's an anim that plays. So the system, if you block the move, for the ones that are blockable, of course, the cutscenes won't play.
All right, that's fair. No, that's what I wanted to know, because if there was no counterplay to it, it would be kind of Anime Showdown, where I think people like Shinra can literally just get you in the ultimate with no skill, and that was quite annoying, actually.
Yeah, so because in our game, really things will blocks, there's like, I'm not gonna have too many things that have like definite block breakers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want it to be like diverse, so depending on your defense will affect if you can withstand the move sometimes. For example, the Zoe Decline has the heart rip out move.
Yeah.
So when you're certain when your opponent is a certain level of HP and you use it, it's gonna kill them, of course. But if they have more defense than you have attack and your strength, right?
Yeah,
It won't just kill them. It will just do a certain amount of damage.
that's fair.
So things will vary. So your stats are really important into what you have, and it's a whole big other thing when we come in when it talks about like when we're talking about the whole Nen tree, because our skill tree is very big,
Mm-hmm.
and even to obtain your skills, there are many factors for obtaining skills, because some skills take have different Nen types mastery that you have to have in order to use the skill, because not all skills in a Hatsu is just going to be transmutation.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
All right, that's fair. I like it. See, when you explain it like that, it kind of gets me thinking. All right, all right, all right. One last thing I need to ask you about the game. The most important thing to me, I couldn't care about anything else. What is the hunt exams actually going to be like?
So so in the game, the hunter exams is very important because it's kind of like a switch in gameplay for everybody. Because after you become a hunter, it's not gonna be in most games where you're just a hunter. Oh, I'm gonna look cool. I have a hunter card. No, there's actually stuff you have to do as a hunter, because the rule of being a hunter is you always have to be on the hunt. So for hunter exams, you have to even go into the place, right? You have to have a certain amount of reputation.
Mm-hmm.
Reputation will be a thing on release, but you're probably not gonna have enough until 100 exam comes out.
Which
That's
is like update 1 or something.
Yeah, update 1. So update 0.5 will add the first. There are gonna be kind of multiple PvP modes. You're gonna have the first PvP mode, which is gonna be Fighters Club. Fighters Clubs helps you get reputation. Instead of having to do a trial in order to be able to take the hunter exam, you just need a certain amount of reputation to take it.
Okay, that
If-
makes sense. That's a good
So
that's a good replacement for the trial.
so once you get into the hunter exam, there's gonna be a hunter exam hub. So the hub will have a whole global queue up
I
where you
love
can
that.
match make with like anybody basically, and you'll
Mm-hmm.
have the servers, and then it will have like 24 or 30 people, no 32 people in each session.
Oh,
And you can also make a party of 4. But I don't advise you doing the 100 exam, which too many of you with all 4. Maybe you just have one friend, because you might have to betray each other in the later stages of the 100 exam.
that sounds
So,
beautiful.
so when you're in the first and second stages, basically everybody can pass it.
Mm-hmm.
Basically everybody, but it's not gonna be so easy, because some people might, because it varies. Because for example, Trick Tower is a stage in the 100 exam, and not everybody's gonna fight the same level of NPCs.
So it's
You
gonna
just
be
might have,
randomized.
yeah. So you might just be unlucky. So it will range from every. It will range. So the NPCs levels and skills and all that stuff will range from the levels from the people taking the 100 exam.
So if you have someone who's failed consistently, but they're like level 60, there's a
Yeah.
chance that there could be level 60 mobs within that exam.
And Trick Tower is a puzzle. It's a maze. So there are traps, there are NPCs, there are places like infinite like pit where you have to do game modes to get out. So Trick Tower itself is a tricky one to even get to the third stage. And the third stage is where the third and fourth stage is where everybody gets cut in half. So if 12 people are going to the third stage, 6 people can only get out. And if 6 people are going to the next no, if 6 people are going to the fourth stage, only 3 people can actually pass the hunter exam.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always it's high stakes, but the reward for being a hunter is exponential because you get so much benefits. So hunter exam is a major thing in the gameplay and a major shift in the gameplay where PvP and PvE goes to more than just fighting players in arenas like most games.
Yeah,
You will
I
have to
love that.
some let me just give in that. So when you're a hunter, you do stuff called hunter missions. Hunter missions have different criteria. So they're beast hunter missions, relic hunter missions, blacklist hunter missions, so on and so forth. So in order to proceed into a 1-star hunter, 2-star hunter, 3-star hunter, you need to get EXP, and you get them from doing these PvP and PvE orientated missions. So some might TP you to a server where there's a big canyon, and then you have to protect the whole canyon from NPC mobs and a player that's trying to destroy the canyon, who is a hunter too. So there are gonna be stakes and all that stuff, and the missions vary. Some will be just PvE and PvP in it. Some will just be just PvP, and some will be just PvE. So that's my plan. But yeah, and the benefits are insane. For example, when you're 1-star hunter, you get access to hidden locations. You can buy a blimp, access to exotic items like Kurta eyes. You can't actually put it on your eyes. It's only exclusive to the Kurta clan. But that can fit you a lot of money. You get so each prestige you get, you are able to you get new types of hunter missions. So let's say you were a normal hunter, right? You weren't even a 1-star hunter, and let's say you only had beast and treasure hunter. When you're a 1-star hunter, you can get blacklist hunter, beast hunter. So it all will always be, there will always be a progression for it. And later in the game, this is me leaking a lot of stuff, but I'm not gonna leak anymore. But later in the game, hunters will also get access to the laboratory, where the Nen Beast, this is for Nen Beast hunters. They can take the DNA from Nen Beast and infuse it with their weapons and armor.
Oh, okay.
That's just a feature I plan to add for the game.
You plan to add anything with the Chimera Ants, or?
Yes, Chimera Ants will be for my NGL update, which is a very so I'll say there are 3 big pivotal updates, which is Greed Island, NGL, and Dark Continent. Those are big biome, big new, a lot of mechanics, a lot of new Nen Beasts, a lot of NPCs, a lot of new storylines and new objectives. So, and some of them are like unending, because the main goal of Beyond Nen is to achieve Beyond Nen, which I'm not gonna say what that is, but it's the main purpose of a player in the game is to achieve that. So being a hunter, having access to these secret places, going to Greed Island, the Dark Continent, being a Chimera Ant will all affect people to reach that goal.
Okay, I'm impressed. I can't lie to you. That's pretty much all I have to ask from you. You've really covered the whole basis.
But yeah, and things our plan is to, before content creators test, because we don't just want to hype up the game. The testers will actually test. That's why I'm not giving content creators automatic testers. Content creators just to make content. So testers are gonna make, they're gonna make sure the game's ready for content.
And how do you plan on gathering actual testers?
So I'm not trying to scam my community out of their money and just take their money, because I don't really need it right now. But there'll be applications, and if you're lucky enough, I might just give you testers if I like you. So they're different. There are gonna be different applications. Sometimes I'm gonna grade them, but I don't really. It's only the mods and the admins. They look at the applications, and then there's a whole 3-way process where you apply. I do like a check on you, because each application is only gonna be up to 25 people will accept. So I do what they call a background check on you, I guess you could call it. Yeah. And then I interview.
All right, no, that's fair. That's probably the best way to do it. So no micers aren't allowed to be testers.
Probably. Yeah, there's not gonna be a lot of no micers.
Yeah, I recommend keeping it like that too. Don't trust no micers. All right,
but
that's fair.
But yeah, that's really everything for now that I can disclose of the game, and we're working hard to make sure the game is what the community deserves. There hasn't been any Hunter x Hunter games
at all. All right, I'll leave the rest in your hands, man. Thank you, Decay, for coming on the episode of RoTalks.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you guys for having me. Hopefully, when we release a few more, content related stuff on the game, I hope to be back here again.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you for coming.